Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and this is Miss Oyda. And thank you so much, ma'am, that you are here and will share your prestigious experiences with us. I just want to ask from your early time that before 20 years, what was the scenario in Uzbekistan for the women and in your family when you were a child and then you were in your upbringing? What was your motivation to become a professional lady? And at that time, what were the challenges for men's side you had?
Hi, Dr. Ali. It's my pleasure to join this wonderful project, Women for Impact. And yeah, let me introduce myself. I have 12 years experience in finance and accounting, and I started my career as an English teacher. I taught at academic license for 7 years. So I have two master degrees. The first one is from linguistics, English philology, and the second is MBA, Master of Business Administration from American University. So coming back to your question about women's role, I think that my mother is a role model for me. So in my childhood, my mom and dad, both of them worked. They are teachers at college, and even they are retired, they continue working now. So my mom, she is a role model in terms of, uh, let's say, planning financial, I mean, family budget, planning our education. And so my mom and dad, they would decide together all the plans, all the activities for kids. So I would say that in my own family, I am mother of two kids, and together with my husband, we always coordinate all our actions. We plan everything together, and but I wouldn't say that we have like we have equal opportunities actually in our society in terms of career growth. Men, they have more opportunities, they have more chances to be promoted. Personally, I also recently faced there's a problem like glass ceiling. You know this terminology when in career path, when women they reach this glass ceiling, and because of no reason, just because of being woman, they are not being promoted. Yeah, we do have such kind of obstacles, barriers in Uzbek society, even if you work in an international organization.
Okay, so you mean still you have some kind of problem where men get more benefits than women in your society or country.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So it's based on the profession or in any field, like for example in teaching, medical, or the business or finance or anything, or you think that it's in certain fields?
Mm, in education, I noticed that um, for not in higher education, but at schools and let's say kindergarten, right? Women are, yes, they we have more women who are direct school directors, who are they can open their private schools. I can see a lot of women entrepreneurs who start their business, especially as learning center directors, right? Director of a language center. So they do their best and develop their entrepreneurship skills in order to open up, to start their business. But in the government sector, in finance, in higher education, at the ministry level, right, we have more men who are dominating, and
Okay.
they do have more opportunities to be promoted. I think that it's based on the understanding that women, they may go to maternity leave, or if there is any business trip, they won't be allowed by their husband to travel to another country. I think we do have these stereotypes. That's why women are not being promoted.
So, okay, and other than this, for the general society, do you think that women face other challenges, like, for example, men they like to have, for example, unusual relationships with women towards women, or they are safe or secure in the workplace?
Unfortunately, we had such cases. I can bring up an example at one of the local universities. One of the female students, she was harassed by a dean, and yeah, it was a tragedy. I mean, um, so and she had to sue this guy, right? And there was a lot of social network communication. Everyone was protecting this female student. So yeah, but this is just one example which everyone knows about. But there are a lot of cases which we haven't heard, right? And for example, at European and American universities, they do have such a program, that's such a training against violence and harassment and against bullying, right? So whenever a new faculty or a new staff member or administrator joins this university, they have this onboarding training. So I think that in our local universities and schools, we do need this training, and it's not just to about social awareness, but it's follow-up actions. If you harass, it doesn't matter male or female, right? So uh, you will have consequences
Hmm.
up to dismissal, up to being, yeah. So that's why I think all the policy and regulations within institutions are very important in order to prevent such kind of uh, issues.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do have, as I provided an example. Yeah.
Okay, but I think now world is changing, and if I don't want to mention the countries, but some, because I have some examples where now women also have this kind of like pressure or the way to suppress men. I mean, in some of the examples, but of course the ratio is very low. That's we cannot say that it's getting more intensified. But I mean, with the passage of time, like awareness is coming more towards women also. So I hope that these things will be become less and less in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
other thing is, in your experience, like one of this part that you mentioned for the men and women, and the other thing is, as women, that as I mentioned before, for last in 20 years. So do you think that the world, we are changing, and we say we are becoming more advanced, we have now technologies, we are getting more and more new ideas, but on the other hand, do you think we are losing our traditional values, that for example our moral, ethical and social values, they are becoming compromised, or you still think it's okay?
I think that there should be balance.
Hmm.
For example, in our country, I can say proudly that all the cultural heritage is being preserved, right? And at the same time, we are open to innovations, to new technologies, to different new ambitious investment projects, right? So we can and we must find the balance in order so that the globalization is not uh, like deleting our identity. Of course, we as representatives of Uzbek community, of Uzbek nation, uh, based on our based on our culture and knowledge and heritage, right? We need to develop and improve. So historically, actually, my grandmother even told that when they gathered and at the square, it was during 1917, when they gathered at the square and took off all the paranjas and fired them, right? So
Hmm.
the emancipation already started in the 20s, at the beginning of 20th century, right? And we women nowadays, we must build on this. We cannot forget all this effort that was already made by so many Uzbek women for emancipation. So yes, we can also notice that some Uzbek women for the last 5 6 years started wearing a lot of hijab, and we cannot just tell that you can't wear these or prohibit. This is their option and this is their choice. And so I also noticed a lot of contemporary, a lot of women who are successful in religion and at the same time in their career. Yeah, so they are business consultants. They are opening their own business, like for example, accounting consultants, financial consultancy, and they are running their advertisement business in social media. They have a lot of customers, so um, they can balance both family, religious, and their business. So it's everything is possible, yeah. And I think that technologies are very helpful. All the new software and gaining these new skills, and because lifelong learning is very important, you need to keep up with all this new knowledge and new skills.
Uh, yeah, I understand and I agree this is important. So your basic experience is in teaching or in policy making like finance, what you have I saw on your profile.
Yes, more than 12 years I'm in financial accounting, and I also provided training in terms of data protection during onboarding of new staff and faculty. Yeah, so Mm, I think that community building is very important.
Yes.
So when you work, if the working environment is should must be safe, as we
Yeah.
discussed. Yeah, so it must be welcoming, friendly, and the most important is about values. If we have shared values, right, as a community members,
Yes.
then we can be successful and reach our common goals. Uh, so this is very important, I think.
Okay, and in Uzbekistan, for women, what profession they most likely to join? For example, in Pakistan, before we have trend to become a doctor, medical doctor, or then engineer.
Mhm,
So, in your country,
mhm,
what women like to join which profession more?
mhm. So yeah, traditional professions like teachers and doctors, and I also noticed that women entrepreneurs are also increasing in number because we have international also some training, some programs uh, who support women entrepreneurship. Yeah. In tourism, we have a lot of women who launched their business as a tour agency company. Um, in couturier, in different traditional wearings and clothes, they promote their business, their products even outside of Uzbekistan, because as you know, all the traditional adras, they are very popular. Uzbek traditional clothes are very popular all over the world, especially in European countries, in US.
Uh,
Yeah, and we have a lot of women entrepreneurs who are very successful in promoting cultural. I mean, they connect Uzbek culture uh, with their products.
Yeah, okay. And other than this, like in your own different experiences, do you think that most of the time when you want to make decision, so in your opinion, what is your strategy? For example, when you have some kind of pressure, for example, in your family or in your work, so you are kind of a person who take decision spontaneously, or you take so much time and you make it in a way that should be okay for both parties.
In my case, spontaneous decisions are not helpful, and usually
Yeah.
they are not correct. Yeah, it is better not to respond at the same time, to take a pause and to reflect on this, um, to think about this with your mom, with your friend, with your sister or husband, or just to analyze the situation. But they can be different. So I think everything depends on your emotional intelligence. If a person can control manage their emotions, uh, they they would never react in an aggressive way, right? So, but there were some situations when you have to tell no just at the same time, right? So a lot of women, I noticed that they try to be comfortable and they don't know how to say no. They just say yes, okay, let's do, and then they regret about this. So women need to learn how to say no. It's my these are my personal boundaries, and I'm not going to be involved in this. It's not convenient for me. So yes,
Okay.
so listening to your heart and to your mind, and uh, feeling that if it is okay for you, then you will continue the project or your work or some other uh, projects. I mean, it depends on the situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
If you want to cope with
yeah.
some issues, yeah, I would recommend women and men to have mindfulness practices. So, for example, meditation. Yeah, they are very helpful.
Okay. So do you think that meditation still in this world really work in that way?
Uh, yeah, people should practice mindfulness, listening to their heart and not because in a fast pacing world we think only logically, but actually yes, people should balance between there should be life and work balance in order to make right decisions, right? People are not robots to work non-stop. Otherwise, if people work non-stop, of course there will be stressful situations, uh, like burnout, right? It's very popular, especially for those who work in the office.
Okay. And what's your next plan in your next achievements for the job also and for your own life? Do you think that you have achieved what you did, or you still want to get in your next upcoming years?
Thank you for this question. Actually, uh, there are a lot of plans to complete. I have started my PhD program at Tashkent State University of Economics, and I started teaching management course over there in partnership with uh, Indonesian University, and I have management courses, and I also continue my PhD, doing my PhD research. My research interest in implementing ESG to run sustainable business, ESG practices, environmental, social, and governance. So one of the uh, challenges it's about every researcher knows about this is data collection. So the more you communicate with like-minded people, uh, the easier to overcome these challenges. And of course, my supervisor keeps motivating me. So yes, in the next like couple of years, I will be uh, writing my dissertation, and hopefully, I will successfully defend my
Okay.
PhD thesis.
Okay. Okay, my next two questions are a little bit maybe it's I would not say much personal, but it's somehow good for people who want to know each other. So I would ask that when you are in drag and when you are too angry, what you do? I mean, generally we advise people that you should do meditation or you should be very calm and humble. But in real situation, when we become harsh or when we get some kind of unpleasant situation, so in that time, what you do in real peak?
Mm. So yeah, I it came with my experience. I think there were some times when I can shout, right? But maybe it was 10 or 12 years ago. But the more experienced you become, you keep up this voice, calm, and but at the same time, you try to speak. I'm talking about my own experience. I speak up for myself. uh, yes, if but never being aggressive, because aggression is not going to resolve any problems.
Yeah,
So yeah, being persistent, being insisting on your own opinion, and trying not to increase the level of this conflict, and trying to take a pause. I think taking a pause is the most appropriate way of resolving any conflict,
yeah,
because when people are too much emotional, it's not going to bring they are not going to come to a compromise. Yeah, but to be honest, I developed this in myself. um, so there are different books which we need to read, and the most important, when I read books, I try to implement them right away. Whatever I learned, I share my opinion with my friends. I have two close friends. We meet at least twice a month regularly, and whatever books we read, we share, we discuss, and the most important, whatever you learn, you must implement it right away. Otherwise,
yeah.
it's just reading books. It's waste of time if you don't reflect and if you don't
True.
implement what you learned from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so and next is my last question. So, what is your message to the next generation, the youngsters and the young women, and even for the men, that how they should start their career and what they do in their life when they get hard time?
Mhm. As I mentioned, I started my career as an ESL teacher, right? And I decided to change it to financial accounting. And I think that if young generation, they should also try themselves in different areas. If they have chosen career in one major, and in a couple of years they understand that it's not my path, I want to do something different. It's never late to change their career path. And the most important thing, that whatever you learned from your previous profession or experience, it will always help you in the next in another area. So of course, the earlier this happens, the better. That's why internships programs are very important for senior year students, right? When they can try different jobs, when they can uh, open their full potential. So yes, I would recommend young generation to try different professions when they are senior students, to start their career right when they are completing their bachelor's degree, and never learn and never stop learning, trying different things, startup projects, maybe some social impact projects, um, and even volunteering for young people also brings a lot of experience.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am Odin. It was very great talk with you, and hope when I will share, audience will enjoy. So next time I will invite you, and I will welcome you to my platform also to join and share your views with other women members. It will be good for us.
Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure, Dr. Ali. Welcome to